When God separates you, beloved, it is never to leave you empty, abandoned, or alone. It is to prepare you, to mold you, to shape you into the vessel He has always seen in the deepest parts of His heart. Separation is not punishment, it is divine preparation. It feels like the cold wind tearing at your skin, like silence that echoes so loudly you can barely breathe. But in that silence, God is speaking words that will anchor your soul. In those lonely nights where tears are the only companions on your pillow, He is writing a story so magnificent that when the pages turn, you will not only understand the pain but thank Him for it. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life when the world around you grows dark, when the people you thought would stand forever by your side quietly drift away, when the hands you reach for no longer reach back. It is in those moments that you must understand God Himself has stepped in. The same God who parts seas, who raises the dead, who sets galaxies in their place, has reached into your life and said, "No more. This one is mine. I must take them away from what they know, from who they lean on, so that they will lean on me." Oh, how painful it is to be separated. The heart aches, the mind rebels, and everything inside you wants to cling to the familiar. You say, "Lord, why did they leave me? Why did you take them away? Why is this road so empty?" And the heavens seem silent. But His silence is not absence. His silence is strategy. Like a master artist, He is painting a masterpiece, but you are too close to see the picture. All you can see is the brush pressing hard against the canvas, scraping and swirling, and you think it is chaos. But step back, beloved, step back in faith. And one day you will see the glorious image that only He could create. God separates to elevate. He pulls you out of the crowd not because you are unworthy, but because you are set apart. He removes voices from your life because their whispers would drown out His call. He closes doors because the rooms behind them are too small for the destiny He has prepared for you. Do not curse the closed door. Do not mourn forever over the people who left. Instead, lift your head and whisper, "Thank you, Lord, for loving me enough to take me away from what would destroy me." When a seed is planted, it is buried in darkness. It is pressed down into soil, cut off from the light it once knew. To the seed, it feels like death. It feels like the end. But what the seed cannot see is that this burial is the beginning of new life. The soil that surrounds it is not a tomb, it is a womb. And in that hidden place, growth is happening. Roots are forming. Strength is developing. The same is true for you. When God separates you, He is burying you, but only so you can rise higher than you ever imagined. It feels lonely because no one else can come with you. It feels painful because you are breaking through layers of who you used to be. But hold on, beloved. Hold on to the hand of the one who planted you, because soon you will push through the soil, reach toward the light, and bloom for all the world to see. You will be a testimony of what happens when a soul surrenders to divine separation. Some of you are walking through seasons where friendships are crumbling, relationships are ending, and you cannot understand why. The people you trusted most have turned their backs on you. It hurts, I know it hurts. But listen closely, not everyone can go where you are going. The mountain God is calling you to climb has narrow paths. If you try to bring everyone with you, the weight will pull you down. There are people who were good for one season but toxic for the next. They cannot handle the version of you that God is birthing. Their vision is too small for your future. So in His mercy, God removes them. And yes, it feels cruel, like being ripped apart, but it is protection disguised as loss. Do not chase after those who walked away. Do not beg them to stay. Let them go with grace, because their exit is the doorway to your elevation. Trust that the same God who brought them into your life for a time will bring new souls aligned with your destiny when the time is right. There is a sacred beauty in being alone with God. When all the noise fades, when the applause of people dies down, you are left with the gentle whisper of His voice. It is in that sacred solitude that He heals the wounds you hide, the ones you don't even have words for. It is there He confronts the lies you've believed about yourself. Alone with Him, you discover who you truly are, not who the world told you to be, not who your past declared you were, but who He dreamed you to be before the foundations of the earth were laid. Many of us are so busy running, chasing, pleasing others that we miss His call. So He separates us. He pulls us aside like a loving parent guiding a child, saying, "Come away with me. I have things to show you. I have secrets to reveal. I have plans so great, but you must be still to hear me." The wilderness feels empty, but it is in the wilderness that miracles are born. Remember, it was in the desert that manna fell. It was in the desert that water flowed from a rock. It was in the desert that God's glory was revealed in fire and cloud. Your separation is not a curse. It is an invitation to see His glory like never before. I know, dear heart, that the nights are long and the waiting is wearying. You see others moving ahead, celebrating milestones, while you feel stuck in place. The enemy whispers, "See, you are forgotten. God has abandoned you." But hear me now, that is a lie from the pit of hell. You are not forgotten. You are hidden. Hidden like a treasure, hidden like a jewel, hidden because what God is doing in you is too precious to be exposed too soon. If a baby is born before it is fully formed, it cannot survive. In the same way, if your destiny is revealed before its time, it can be destroyed. So God keeps you hidden, keeps you separated, keeps you tucked away under His wing until you are ready to step into the fullness of His calling. Waiting is not wasted time. Waiting is working time. In the unseen, He is strengthening your character, deepening your faith, teaching you to trust Him with every step. And when the time comes, When the door swings wide, you will not just walk, you will soar because you will be ready. Think of the great figures throughout history and scripture. Moses was separated for 40 years in the desert before he led a nation to freedom. David was isolated in the fields with sheep before he became king. Joseph was betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and imprisoned before he ruled Egypt. Even Jesus himself went into the wilderness, fasting and praying before stepping into his public ministry. Separation precedes elevation. If they had to go through it, why should we expect to be exempt? You are in good company, beloved. The road you walk has been traveled by giants of faith, and they too felt the sting of loneliness, the weight of misunderstanding. But they held on, and because they did, their lives became shining testimonies of God's power. So lift your chin, dry your tears, and know that this season is not the end of you. It is the making of you. There is also a pruning that comes with separation. Imagine a vine that is wild and overgrown. It may look full, but if the gardener does not cut away the excess branches, the fruit will be small and weak. The cutting looks harsh, but it is an act of love. In the same way, God cuts away habits, relationships, mindsets, even opportunities that would hinder your growth. It hurts to be pruned. It feels like loss. But every cut is making room for greater fruit. Every no you receive is clearing the path for a better wise. Trust the gardener's hands. He knows exactly what to remove and when. Do not cling to what he is trying to cut away. Release it and watch as your life begins to bear fruit you never thought possible. Sometimes, separation exposes the truth. When God begins to elevate you, not everyone will celebrate you. Some will reveal jealousy, envy, even hatred. Do not be surprised. Light always exposes darkness. When your spirit begins to shine with his glory, those who are unwilling to grow will recoil. Let them. Do not dim your light to make others comfortable. Stand tall in who God has called you to be. Your separation may cause others to misunderstand you, to misjudge you, but remember, their opinion cannot cancel God's plan. You do not need their approval. You already have his. Walk boldly, even if you must walk alone for a season. And oh, the beauty that comes when the season of separation ends. There will come a day when you look back on this time and weep, not with sorrow but with gratitude. You will see how every lonely night was a stepping stone. You will see how every tear watered the soil of your destiny. You will understand why certain doors stayed closed, why certain people walked away, why the path was narrow and steep. You will lift your hands and say, Lord, now I see. You were preparing me all along. That day is coming. Hold on to that hope. Let it be the flame that carries you through the darkness. In the meantime, walk faithfully. Do not despise small beginnings. Do not rush the process. Embrace the lessons. Journal your journey. Pray without ceasing. Worship when you feel like weeping. Speak life over yourself when the enemy whispers death. Surround yourself with truth, even if you must speak it alone in your room. Declare, I am chosen, I am loved, I am being prepared. Let those words sink into your bones until they become the song your soul sings. Beloved, when God separates you, it is because he loves you too much to leave you as you are. He sees the battles ahead and knows you need strength you do not yet possess. He sees the people you will influence and knows you need wisdom only he can give. He sees the enemy's traps and knows you must be hidden until the right time. Trust his heart even when you cannot trace his hand. Trust his plan even when the path feels crooked. Trust his timing even when the waiting hurts. Because when the day comes, when the curtain lifts and the world sees what he has been doing in secret, you will stand amazed. You will rise from the ashes with wings of purpose. You will carry the fragrance of the wilderness, the strength of the battle, and the glory of his presence. And you will declare to everyone who doubted, everyone who left, everyone who questioned, it was the Lord. He separated me, he prepared me, and now he has sent me. So do not fear the separation, embrace it. Let the wilderness teach you. Let the silence speak to you. Let the pruning purify you, because you, dear heart, are being prepared for something far greater than you can imagine. And when the preparation is complete, you will not just step into your destiny, you will dance into it, knowing every step, every tear, every lonely night was worth it. For when God separates you, it is because you are chosen for a purpose so divine, so magnificent that only heaven itself could dream it. And one day the world will see what he has always seen, his masterpiece, his beloved, his child, fully prepared to shine his light into the darkness. And as you continue walking through this valley of separation, there is something sacred happening beneath the surface of your life. You may not feel it yet, but every step you take in obedience, every tear you shed in surrender, every moment you choose to trust instead of fear is laying a foundation that cannot be shaken. God is not simply preparing you for the next chapter of your life. He is preparing you for eternity. He is building in you a faith so strong, a heart so steadfast, that no storm will be able to destroy you. You see, when the storms of life come, and they will come, it is not the size of the storm that determines your survival, but the depth of your roots. And in this season of separation, your roots are being driven deep into the soil of his presence. You may not see the growth because it is hidden beneath the surface, but one day when the winds blow and the rains fall, you will stand tall, unshaken, because you have been anchored in him. The world around you celebrates instant success, quick breakthroughs, overnight transformations. But God does not rush his masterpiece. Diamonds are formed under intense pressure and over long periods of time. Gold is refined through fire that burns away every impurity. A tree that will grow to bear fruit for generations must first endure years of silent, hidden growth underground. So, when it feels like nothing is happening, when the waiting seems unbearable, remember that God is not delaying. He is deepening. He is ensuring that when you rise, you will not crumble. Many people want the crown, but not the cross. Many want the promise, but not the process. But the process is what makes you strong enough to carry the promise. Do not despise it. Do not rush it. Embrace it as the sacred journey that it is. And yes, beloved, there will be days when you will cry out to God with all your heart, asking Him to explain, to reveal, to make sense of the pain. There will be nights when you lie awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if you misunderstood His voice, wondering if you have somehow missed His plan. In those moments, cling to this truth: God is not a man that He should lie. If He spoke it, He will do it. If He promised it, it will come to pass. The silence does not mean He has changed His mind. The separation does not mean you have been abandoned. It means He is still working, still weaving, still writing the story. Just because you cannot see the ink on the page does not mean the author has stopped writing. He is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. And He sees the end of your story even as you stand trembling at the middle. Trust Him with the chapters you do not understand, because when the book is complete, it will be more beautiful than anything you could have imagined. Separation is also a divine protection against the traps of the enemy. There are places God will not allow you to go because He sees the snares hidden there. There are people He will not allow to remain in your life because He hears conversations you cannot hear and sees motives you cannot see. There are opportunities He will close off because they would lead you away from your true calling. You may feel like you are being punished, but you are actually being protected. Just as a parent pulls their child back from the edge of a cliff, sometimes roughly, sometimes against the child's will, God pulls you away from danger you cannot perceive. And one day, when the full truth is revealed, you will fall to your knees in gratitude, whispering, "Thank you, Lord, for the no's that saved my life." You may also notice that as God separates you, He begins to refine your desires. Things you once craved lose their hold on you. Conversations you once enjoyed now feel hollow. Spaces that used to bring you joy now leave you empty. This is His way of elevating your appetite, of teaching you to hunger for the eternal instead of the temporary. He is weaning you off the distractions of this world so that you will be fully nourished by His presence alone. It is a painful process, like detoxing from a poison you didn't know you were drinking. But as the toxins leave, your soul begins to breathe freely. You begin to taste the sweetness of His Spirit, and no counterfeit pleasure can compare. This transformation is part of your preparation because you cannot step into a divine calling while clinging to earthly chains. God loves you too much to let you settle for less than His best. And oh, the lies the enemy will whisper during this season. He will tell you that you are alone because you are unworthy. He will tell you that the people who left you did so because you are unlovable. He will whisper that your dreams will never come to pass, that you will never rise from this pit, that you are destined to fail. But hear me, beloved, the devil is a liar. Every word he speaks is poison. Do not let his lies take root in your heart. When those thoughts come, take them captive and replace them with truth. Speak aloud the promises of God. Declare over yourself, I am chosen. I am beloved. I am hidden but not forgotten. My story is still being written. What God has begun in me, He will complete. Let your own voice become a weapon against the darkness. Let your faith be louder than your fear. There will come a day when the very things you are praying for right now will seem small compared to what God actually delivers. He is a God of abundance, a God who does exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or think. But before He can entrust you with abundance, He must first teach you stewardship in the wilderness. This is why the Israelites wandered for 40 years before entering the promised land. They had to learn obedience, trust, and dependence on Him alone. If they had entered too soon, they would have destroyed themselves with pride and rebellion. In the same way, your wilderness season is teaching you lessons that wealth, fame, or success cannot teach. You are learning to find joy in Him, to stand firm on His word, to worship when you have nothing. These lessons will sustain you when the blessings come. Without them, the blessings would crush you. Some of you have been separated not just from people, but from versions of yourself that you must outgrow. God is calling you to shed old identities like a snake sheds its skin. The anger you've carried, the bitterness you've nurtured, the fear that has ruled you, they cannot come with you into this next season. This is why the journey feels so hard. You are not just walking away from others, you are walking away from yourself. You are saying goodbye to the old you, and that is terrifying. But trust me when I say this, the version of you that will emerge on the other side is worth every painful goodbye. You will rise with a heart purified by fire, a mind renewed by truth, and a spirit strengthened by His power. You will look in the mirror and barely recognize yourself, not because you are lost, but because you have been found. And as God prepares you, He will also prepare those you are called to serve. Your life is not your own. The gifts He has placed in you are meant to bless others. The anointing on your life is not for you to hoard, but to pour out like oil on the wounds of a hurting world. There are people waiting for your obedience. There are souls connected to your yes. This is why the preparation matters so deeply. When you step into your calling, you must be ready to lead, to love, to heal, to fight spiritual battles on behalf of others. The weight of this responsibility is heavy, but God's grace is sufficient. He will never send you unprepared. So if he is taking his time, if he is chiseling you with painstaking care, it is because the mission ahead is sacred, and you are his chosen vessel. Do not despise the days of small beginnings, the quiet acts of faith you practice now, the prayers whispered in secret, the kindnesses no one sees, the sacrifices you make when no one thanks you. These are seeds being sown into the soil of eternity. When the harvest comes, it will be abundant, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. You will look back and see that nothing was wasted. Not one tear, not one prayer, not one moment of obedience. God is the master of redemption. He takes what the enemy meant for harm and turns it for good. He takes ashes and creates beauty. He takes graves and turns them into gardens, and he will do the same for you. Even now, angels are being dispatched on your behalf. Even now, doors are being prepared to open. Even now, hearts are being softened, opportunities are being aligned, resources are being gathered. You cannot see it, but heaven is working tirelessly behind the scenes. Your job is to remain faithful, to keep your heart pure, to stay in position. When the moment comes when God says, "Now everything will happen so quickly it will take your breath away," the years of waiting will collapse into a single moment of fulfillment, and you will understand why you had to walk the lonely road. You will see that the separation was not a delay. It was acceleration in disguise. Beloved, hold on. Hold on when the nights are long. Hold on when the silence feels unbearable. Hold on when you are tempted to go back to what God has called you out of. Do not return to Egypt when the promised land is ahead. Do not settle for crumbs when a feast has been prepared for you. Keep your eyes fixed on Jesus, the author and finisher of your faith. Let him be your compass, your comfort, your strength. And when doubt whispers, drown it out with worship. When fear rises, cast it down with faith. When weariness overtakes you, rest in his arms, knowing that his power is made perfect in your weakness. One day, beloved, you will stand on the other side of this season and tell your story. You will speak of the nights you almost gave up, the prayers you thought went unanswered, the pain that nearly broke you. And as you speak, others will find hope. They will see in you the proof that God is faithful. They will say, if he did it for them, he can do it for me. Your testimony will be the very thing that unlocks someone else's breakthrough. This is why you must not quit. Your story is not just about you. It is about everyone who will be set free because you endured. So lift your head even in the valley. Square your shoulders. Even when the burden feels heavy, whisper to your soul, this is not the end, this is the beginning. I am being prepared for glory beyond what I can comprehend. And believe it with every fiber of your being. Walk forward in faith, step by trembling step, until the day dawns and the shadows flee. Because when God separates you, it is never to harm you. It is always to heal you, to ready you, to raise you up for such a time as this. And when the appointed hour comes, you will shine like the sun, a beacon of hope in a dark world, a living testament to the power of divine preparation. You will look back on this season and say, with tears of gratitude streaming down your face, it was worth it. Every moment was worth it. And you will know deep in your soul that the God who separated you was faithful to prepare you, and faithful to bring you into the fullness of your destiny. And as you journey deeper into this sacred season, there will come a point where you begin to see glimmers of light breaking through the darkness, faint at first, like dawn stretching its fingers across the horizon. These glimpses will not erase the pain, but they will give you hope. They will remind you that even though the night feels endless, morning is coming. God's promises are not bound by time. What he has spoken over you cannot be undone by the failures of yesterday or the trials of today. His word is eternal, unshakable, and certain. And though you cannot always see his hand is always guiding you. Like a master weaver threading strands of gold into the tapestry of your life, he is crafting something so intricate and beautiful that, when revealed, it will take your breath away. You will understand then why the pattern seemed random, why certain threads had to be cut, why certain colors had to be dark before the brilliance of the light could shine through. This journey of separation will also bring you face to face with your deepest fears. When everything familiar has been stripped away, when there are no distractions left to numb the ache, you will encounter the raw truth of your heart. The wounds you have buried, the lies you have believed, the doubts you have carried, they will all rise to the surface. It will feel overwhelming, but it is not to destroy you. God brings these hidden things to light so that he can heal them. You cannot be fully prepared for your destiny while carrying the baggage of your past. So in his mercy, he allows the pain to surface, not to punish you, but to cleanse you. It is like a surgeon removing a tumor. You must first be cut open before the healing can begin. And though the process is painful, the result is freedom, wholeness, and new life. In these moments, it is crucial to remember that God's voice is always gentler than the voice of shame. Shame will tell you that you are broken beyond repair. It will whisper that you are unworthy of love, unworthy of purpose, unworthy of redemption. But God's voice says the opposite. He says, you are mine, you are loved, you are chosen, you are called. Even as he reveals your wounds, he holds you tenderly like a potter shaping clay with careful hands. He does not throw you away because of your cracks. Instead, he fills those cracks with his glory, turning your scars into testimonies. Where the world sees brokenness, he sees beauty. Where others see failure, he sees a future. And when you finally see yourself through his eyes, you will understand why he had to pull you away from voices that spoke lies over you. He needed you alone with him so you could hear the truth clearly without distortion. As you walk this path, you will also notice how separation sharpens your discernment. When you no longer have the noise of the crowd around you, you begin to recognize the subtle movements of God's Spirit. You learn to distinguish between his whisper and the enemy's deception. This discernment is vital for the road ahead. Many opportunities will look good but will not be God. Many people will speak sweet words but have bitter intentions. Without discernment, you could be easily led astray. So God trains your spiritual senses in the quiet. He teaches you to pause, to pray, to wait before making decisions. He teaches you to trust his timing above your own understanding. And though this training feels tedious now, it will save you from heartache later. For when the world clamors for your attention and doors swing open before you, you will know which ones to walk through and which ones to leave closed. There is also a sacred intimacy that blooms in the wilderness. When you are separated from everything else, you have no choice but to lean wholly on God. At first, this feels frightening. You long for the comfort of familiar faces, the security of predictable routines. But as you press in, you begin to realize that his presence is enough. His love is enough. His voice is enough. You start to experience the joy of being fully known and fully loved. You discover that his companionship is richer than any earthly relationship. And in this discovery, something shifts inside you. You no longer need to cling to others for validation because you are anchored in his acceptance. You no longer fear being alone because you know you are never truly alone. This deep intimacy will be the foundation for everything you build in the future. Without it, success would corrupt you. With it, success will simply be a platform to glorify him. Beloved, I must also tell you this: the deeper your calling, the deeper your season of separation will be. Those who are destined to touch many lives must first endure the refining fire. A shallow foundation cannot support a towering structure. So if your journey feels especially difficult, it is because your purpose is especially great. Do not compare your path to anyone else's. Some are called to ordinary assignments and their preparation will be brief. But you, chosen one, are being prepared for extraordinary work. The weight of your destiny requires a season of solitude, a season of testing, a season of hiddenness. This is not to break you, but to ensure that when the time comes, you will not falter. You will stand firm, unshaken by praise or criticism, rooted in the unchanging love of God. You may wonder why God doesn't just reveal the plan all at once. Why must he lead you step by step, often in the dark? It is because if you saw the entire journey, you might run away in fear or try to take control in pride. Trust grows in the unknown. Faith is built in the shadows, like a lantern lighting only the next few steps on a dark path. God gives you just enough light to keep moving forward. Each step of obedience strengthens your trust in him. Each moment of surrender deepens your relationship with him. And when you look back one day, you will marvel at how far he has brought you, not by leaps and bounds, but by small, steady steps of faith. Along the way, there will be temptations to quit. The enemy will offer shortcuts that promise relief but lead to ruin. He will whisper, "Why wait on God when you can take matters into your own hands? Why endure the pain when you can escape it?" Resist these lies. Remember that what is gained through compromise will never satisfy. Only what comes from God's hand will bring lasting peace. Do not trade your destiny for temporary comfort. Do not sacrifice the eternal for the immediate. Stand firm even when the waiting hurts, even when the silence is deafening. Your perseverance is a weapon. Every day you refuse to quit is a day you defeat the enemy. There will also be moments when memories of the past will call out to you, tempting you to return to what God has delivered you from. Like the Israelites longing for Egypt, you may find yourself yearning for the familiar, even if it was destructive. In those moments, remind yourself of the truth. Egypt was not your home. The wilderness may be uncomfortable, but it is the pathway to freedom. Do not go back to chains just because they feel familiar. Keep moving forward, even if your steps are slow, even if your heart is trembling. God has promised you a land flowing with milk and honey, a future filled with hope and purpose. Do not let nostalgia rob you of your inheritance. As the separation continues, you will begin to notice subtle changes within yourself. The bitterness that once clung to your heart will start to dissolve. The anger that once consumed you will give way to peace. The fear that once paralyzed you will be replaced by courage. These changes may seem small at first, but they are evidence of God's transformative work. You are being shaped into the image of Christ. Your life is becoming a living testimony of his grace. And when others see the change in you, they will be drawn to the one who made it possible. Your very existence will become a beacon of hope, a light shining in the darkness. There will also come a time when God begins to reintroduce you to the world. After a season of hiddenness, he will begin to open doors, align relationships, and position you for impact. This unveiling will not be sudden chaos, but a gentle unfolding. Like a flower blooming in the morning sun, you will emerge in his perfect timing. And when you do, you will carry with you the fragrance of the wilderness, the humility, the strength, the faith that was forged in solitude. Others will see the glory of God shining through you, and they will know that it was his hand, not yours, that brought you this far. And when that day comes, beloved, remember this: never forget the wilderness that shaped you. Never forget the nights of wrestling, The tears of surrender, the prayers that seemed unanswered, these memories will keep you humble. They will remind you that your success is not your own doing, but the result of God's faithfulness. They will keep you dependent on Him even when the crowds cheer and the platforms grow, because the truth is, separation never truly ends. Even in seasons of visibility, God will call you back to the quiet place, back to His heart, back to the solitude where it all began. This rhythm of retreat and return will sustain you for the rest of your life. And so, I speak this over you now: do not fear the separation. Embrace it as a gift. Let it refine you, shape you, and prepare you. Trust that every step, no matter how painful, is leading you closer to your destiny. Believe that the God who began this good work in you will be faithful to complete it. And when doubts arise, speak His promises aloud. Declare that you are chosen, that you are beloved, that you are being prepared for glory beyond what you can see. One day you will stand on a mountaintop and look back at the valley you once thought would destroy you. You will see how every moment of loneliness, every tear, every heartbreak was woven into a story of redemption. You will lift your hands and say, "Now I understand. Now I see. The separation was never to harm me. It was to prepare me." And as you speak these words, others will be inspired to trust God in their own seasons of separation. Your life will become a living sermon, a testament to the faithfulness of a God who never leaves, never forsakes, and always fulfills His promises. Until that day, keep walking, keep trusting, keep believing. For even now, though you cannot see it, heaven is moving on your behalf. Even now, the seeds planted in the soil of your tears are beginning to grow. Even now, the glory of God is being revealed in ways you cannot comprehend. Hold on, beloved. The separation is temporary, but the purpose is eternal. And when the fullness of time arrives, you will emerge not just prepared, but perfected, ready to shine His light into a world desperate for hope. And when the darkness lingers longer than you expected, when the silence feels like it might swallow you whole, you must remember this unshakable truth: God does His greatest work in the quiet, hidden places. The seed grows beneath the soil where no eye can see, where no applause can be heard, where no validation is given. It is there in the unseen that roots grow deep. It is there that strength is forged, character is formed, and faith is tested until it gleams like gold refined in the fire. Do not despise the season of hiddenness, for it is not punishment, it is preparation. It is the divine pause before the grand unveiling. Like a sculptor, God chips away at what no longer serves you, what cannot go with you to the next chapter. And though the chisel may feel sharp, though the blows may sting, they are shaping you into a masterpiece that will stand unshaken in the winds of life. You may cry out, "Why me, Lord? Why now? Why must I walk this road alone?" And heaven's answer comes not always in words, but in a knowing that settles deep into your soul. Because you are chosen, because you are called, because you were never meant to blend into the crowd or settle for mediocrity. You were designed for greatness, and greatness requires separation. Look at the eagle. It soars high above the storm, but before it learns to fly, its mother stirs the nest, removing the soft feathers and forcing it into discomfort, so it will stretch its wings and rise. Your discomfort is not a sign of abandonment, it is a sign of growth. The people who walked away did not have the wings to rise with you. The doors that closed were never meant to lead you to your destiny. The job you lost was not your source. It was merely a channel God used for a season. Trust that when something is removed, it is making room for something far greater, something your heart cannot yet comprehend, but your spirit can sense. So many cling to the familiar out of fear, clinging to relationships, habits, or environments that have already expired. But understand this: the hands that clutch the old cannot receive the new. You must loosen your grip and allow God to place into your life what He has been preparing for you. It is frightening, yes, to stand empty-handed, to face the unknown without a map. But it is in that place of surrender that miracles are born. God cannot fill what is already full. He cannot bless what you refuse to release. So lift your hands and let it go. Let go of the bitterness, the need for closure, the resentment that eats at your peace. Forgive those who left without explanation, those who misunderstood you, those who doubted your vision. Forgiveness does not mean you condone their actions. It means you refuse to let their actions chain you to a past that no longer exists. As you forgive, you free yourself to rise higher. When God separates you, the loneliness may feel suffocating, but loneliness is often the sacred space where you finally hear His voice clearly. The noise of the crowd can drown out His whispers, but in the stillness, you will discover that He has been speaking all along. It is in the silence that clarity comes, that vision sharpens, that purpose ignites. Think of Moses on the mountain. Think of Jesus in the wilderness. Think of every great soul who ever did mighty works. They were first led into isolation. The wilderness is not the end, it is the beginning. It strips away distractions and forces you to confront yourself, to face the fears you've buried, to wrestle with the lies you've believed. And as you wrestle, God speaks, and His truth sets you free. Do not run from this process, for it is holy ground. What feels like breaking is actually building. What feels like exile is actually elevation. There will be moments when the enemy whispers that you have been forsaken, that you are forgotten, that the silence means you are unworthy. Do not listen to those lies. Heaven's silence is not absence. A teacher is quiet during the test, not because they have abandoned the student, but because they have already equipped them with everything they need to pass. You have been equipped. Every trial you've endured, every lesson you've learned, every scar you carry, They are your arsenal for the journey ahead. Your pain will become your power. Your wounds will become your wisdom. Your story will become someone else's survival guide. What the enemy meant for evil, God will use for good. And when the time is right, He will bring you out of hiding and into the place He has prepared. And everyone who doubted you will see that it was the hand of the Lord upon you all along. You must also remember that separation is not always external. Sometimes God separates you internally, shifting your desires, transforming your mind, changing your appetites. The things you once craved will no longer satisfy you. The conversations you once enjoyed will begin to feel hollow. The places you once felt at home will start to feel foreign. This is His way of uprooting you from the old life, even before He plants you in the new one. It may feel disorienting, but trust the process. When your spirit begins to outgrow your surroundings, it is a sign that elevation is near. Do not shrink back to make others comfortable. Do not dim your light to fit into spaces that can no longer contain you. Rise boldly, even if it means rising alone for a season. Those who are meant to walk with you will be divinely aligned with your path in due time. You are not called to please people. You are called to please the one who created you. There will come a day when you look back on this season with gratitude instead of grief. You will see how every tear watered the soil of your future, how every closed door redirected you to the right one, how every loss was actually protection in disguise. You will see that the isolation you hated was the incubator of your destiny. And when you stand in that place of fulfillment, you will understand why God had to separate you. You will say, with tears of joy streaming down your face, if it had not been for the Lord who was on my side, I would have settled for less. I would have been destroyed by what I thought I needed. I would have missed the calling on my life. That day is coming. Hold on. Trust that every step, no matter how painful, is leading you closer to the purpose you were born for. Until then, keep walking, keep believing. Keep showing up even when no one is watching. Keep praying even when the heavens feel silent. Keep worshiping even when your heart is heavy. Your faith is a seed, and though you may not see the sprout yet, beneath the surface, life is stirring. The harvest will come, and when it does, it will be more abundant than you ever imagined. Do not despise small beginnings. Do not compare your journey to anyone else's. What God is doing in you is unique, sacred, and perfectly timed. Comparison will only steal your joy and blind you to the beauty of your own process. Celebrate others, yes, but never doubt that your turn is coming. And when the breakthrough comes, when God brings you into the promise, do not forget the wilderness. Do not forget the nights you cried alone, the prayers you whispered through clenched teeth, the moments you thought you would not make it. Those memories will keep you humble, compassionate, and grateful. They will remind you that every victory is by grace, not by your own strength. Use your story to lift others, to shine a light for those still walking through the valley. Become a voice of hope, a vessel of encouragement, a living testimony of God's faithfulness. Because separation is never just about you. It is about those who will be blessed by your obedience, those who will find healing through your words, those who will see in you a reflection of what is possible when a person surrenders fully to the will of God. So take courage, beloved. You are not lost, you are being led. You are not abandoned, you are being prepared. You are not forgotten, you are being hidden for a divine unveiling. Every step, every tear, every sleepless night is part of a story far greater than you can imagine. Trust the author. He has never failed, and he will not start with you. Walk boldly into the unknown, knowing that you are held, guided, and deeply loved. One day soon the pieces will come together, and you will see with your own eyes the masterpiece He was creating all along. Until then, rest in His promise. When God separates you, it is never to harm you, but always to prepare you for the glory that is to come.